Hello and welcome to week 3 of the GameStar Season 2 qualifiers for Heroes of the Storm. I am GL Phoenix and I'll be taking you through some of the games that will not be on the stream, but we still want to watch regardless. And this one we have first up is going to be a real doozy. We have Morton's List up against Nomia. Last week, Morton's List actually did what many thought to be the impossible in the region and actually took a game off Nomia. So we'll have to see how they come back the very next week. And in the very first game of the day as well, it's going to be on Infernal Shrines, and Nomia do have the first pick and ban. They're going to be taking away the Malfurion. We have to see where Morton's List goes for their first ban. Infernal Shrines is one of the bigger maps, so the Globals will more than likely make some kind of presence. Wouldn't be too surprised to see a Dahaka or the Falstad ban just taking that off the board. But then again, there's also the option to leave both of them up to at least ensure that they get one of them with their first picks. So there's also the option of going elsewhere on some of the other higher priority heroes. Maybe take out the Ragnaros, which is quite strong in this map. Setting up the Molten Core around the shrine phases can really, just... There's so much zone control with that Molten Core that makes it really hard for the other team to push in and get aggressive onto the shrine, but taking a while with this first ban, and it is actually going to be the Tahaka, taking that away, not wanting Nomia to have that. Not unsurprising to see that one go, but that does leave the Falstad available for Nomia to first pick. But there are also the other options. As mentioned, there is the Ragnaros, but it is going to be actually the Arthas that they pick up first, right off the bat. Fat94 has been quite very much liking that pick lately. Arthas has been very strong thanks to his recent rework and buff. So a very strong pick to have right away, but that does give Morton's List the option to go for that Falstad and take away that global pressure. We'll have to see where they go. There's also a lot of other really strong picks. There's the potential for Tassar to come in. He did get a few changes. He's been receiving changes over pretty much the entire year, but still manages to stay relevant in some way, shape, or form. But then to take the Tassar, you'd think that Morton's List would almost be needing to go for the Valor or some other another auto-attacking option to get the value out of the Tassar. So we'll have to see what direction that Morton's List end up going with this draft. It actually is going to be the Tassar and the Valor that is going to be taking that away right off the bat, not wanting Nomia to have that at their disposal. We've seen them use it so very well in the past. John being an incredible Valor, especially with the support that he has behind him. So taking that away from Morton's List, taking that away from Nomia, already starting this off very strong. But the Arthas should be able to deal with the Valor quite well. Well, at least resist a lot of the damage. Having the base armor makes him a little bit more resilient to the auto-attacking Valor, but still can do a lot of work either way. Now we have to see where Nomia end up going with their next two picks. There's still a lot of options to go with. The only real support taken off the board is the Malfurion, so not sure if they want to move towards that right away. They will take the Rhaegar, and the Falstad that was left up by Morton's List does get taken away, so they also have that global pressure to work with. And now we're coming into the second round of bans. It's interesting to see where Morton's List go, because if they want to limit the warrior pool on the side of Nomia, that's an option of taking away the Muradin, which Robodoba has had a lot of success in the past, but they're actually going to be taking away the Zaya. She is re-enabled for this week. She wasn't last week, so that's another big one to take away. They're going to be banning off the Oriel on the side of Nomia, not wanting the Tassadar Oriel Valor trio to really get rolling, because they can really start applying a lot of pressure, and it can be a little bit awkward to deal with if you don't have the composition that's specifically designed to take out those targets. But that does limit the support pool a little bit. There's still the Lucio, which is quite strong, but we'll have to wonder if Morton's List will be going in that direction. And we'll have to see where they go for their warrior pool as well. There's still quite a few on the board. There is the Diablo, there's the Morton, there's the Johanna, which does get picked up quite a bit. It's actually going to be the Tyrande pick up on the side of Morton's list, so a bit of a throwback combo on the side of Morton's list. The Tazadar Tyrande combination has been very big in the past, making a comeback here right now. And it is going to be the Johanna, just sit on that front line, soak a lot of damage, and just allow this Valor to do a lot of work. Now I have to see how Nomia ends up their composition. As I mentioned before, I wouldn't be surprised if they go towards the Morton, because it is a pick that Robodoba has favoured in the past and still does very well to this day. And even though it's not the point-and-click lockdown of some of the other heroes that are on the target, in the pool right now, he's still very strong, can do a lot of work, and I have to see if that's where they go. They also look towards maybe another assassin, maybe pick up a more... Actually, I'm just a little bit wondering where they're going to go with this. It's still very flexible where they can go from here, Nomia. They've got a lot of options available to them. We just have to see where they go. Still need the tank, then there's the Morton. It's actually going to be the Lunara to finish that off, so we get a decent amount of sustained damage, but I'm not sure how that will go against the double support. I mean, it's a rather low sustain duo support, the Tazadar and the Tyrande, unless the shield is going to be on the Valo and she's able to output a lot of damage to get all that health back. But on the other targets, the sustained damage, the poison tick from Lunara just might be enough to just wear down the side of Morton's list. Tyrande doesn't necessarily have the biggest of heals. She's not necessarily relied upon for her healing. So we'll have to see how they play around that Lunara. And now we're coming into the last pick. We'll have to see where they go. Whether or not they go for another damage dealer or another tank to sit at the front line. Or it's a bit of a somewhere in between, some kind of bruiser, maybe like a Sonya which also will work around the shrines quite well. But it's actually going to be the Zeratul trying to hunt down those squishy targets and also control these fights very well. And a very interesting draft on the side of Morton's list. We'll have to see how they play it out, because there's very strong combinations on that side. The Tazadar Valor, the Tazadar Tyrande combinations are very strong, but on the side of Nomia, they just have strong picks all around. And if they're able to utilize that global pressure with the Falstad, well, it's going to be interesting to see how Morton's list play around that as well. So we are going to be getting into game 1 of week 3. It's going to be on Infernal Shrines. It's Morton's list up against Nomia. Alrighty, game 1 we have on the blue side, it is Morton's list. We have Sarshan on the Zeratul, a Turnanix on the Tazadar, an Igon on Johanna, Haki on Valor, and Moops on the Tyrande. And meanwhile on the red side we have Nomia, the jewel of ANZ Heroes of the Storm. We have Arcana on the Falstad, John on Lunara, Fat94 on Arthas, Robodoba again on his Morton, and Vanilla on the Rhaegar. Alright, so we do have the Owl coming out level 1 just to try and slow down that first push to the lane. They do have control, Morton's list, of the lane at first, using the Oracle on the Tazadar just to reveal where any of the members of Nomia are going to be, but they're playing it very safe, just allowing this Falstad to go to the top side and just get a bit of a head start on the push, but they're getting very aggressive onto the Tazadar, forcing away. A bit of damage is returned, but it's not really going to be enough to burst through this very big tank of the Arthas. Finally, the stun does land onto Fat94. He is taken very low, but the healing from the Rhaegar is going to keep him alive just enough. That's just going to force the members of Nomia back. They are able to keep the pressure on all over the map thanks to Arcana on the Falstad. They don't really lose anything out of it. In fact, it looks like they're starting to get a little bit of advantage as they go in onto moves as he gets locked down, thanks to all of the lockdown combination of the Arthas and the Muradin, and that is going to be first blood going over to Nomia. They're already very strong with their rotations, have to be very careful with the Muradin, who could be throwing himself right into the thick of things and really setting up some good plays. So a little bit too far forward from the Lunara, not from the Lunara, from the Tyrande. Managed to get caught out, and something that we'll have to see them shore up very quickly, as we are getting a quick pause. Maybe there was a bit of lag or some other issue that caused that to happen, but still a nice pick-off early on for Nomia. And we should be getting into the first shrine phase quite soon. If it's going to be on the bottom side of the map, having the far side on the top side, we'll get a lot more value, and it's actually going to be a audio issue. We should be getting back into it very soon. Let's have a look at some of the talents. It's pretty much standard. It's going to be Hot Pursuit, Seasoned Marksman on the side of the Tyrande, so they're wanting to get a little bit of extra damage out of the Tyrande. Wanting to follow up on a lot of the lockdown combination with the Tyrande and the Johanna, but if they're not able to get those first kills, I have to rely on the Valor to get a lot of that sustained damage. I'll just see if the healing from the Rhaego is going to be enough to sustain this big and beefy front line of the Arthas and the Muradin, but should be getting into this very soon. Let's have a look at some of the ally talents. It's going to be Seasoned Marksman, not going for the mage style falsetto, which we haven't really seen in quite some time. It has been the Seasoned Marksman build has been more favored on falsets because it does give a bit more sustained damage, especially when you're going to be in these 1v1s a lot of the time because of the split pressure. The auto attack build does lend to making those advantages a bit better. Just pushing through towers, and if you come up against a 1v1, the auto attacking build sustains damage will more often than not help out in winning those trades in the solo lane. But we are getting back into the game. We actually had the falsetto come down to the mid lane just to see what's going on. Not much is happening as we do have the shrine activating on the top of the map, but they are getting aggressive on the bottom. The stun doesn't land onto John, he's able to keep on going, and now it's turned around onto Moves, who is now caught out position, body blocked, and the Tyrande goes down again. Nice little pickup for Nomia. They will keep playing aggressive as they are going to start moving towards the top side of the map. The falsetto is moving down, so he will be able to fly back in if it needed be for the pressure on the top side of the map. Sasha playing very sneaky, just seeing if he can get some kind of pick going, or at least pick up some of the Guardians on the shrine to delay the Punisher pickup for Nomia. Do see a slight level lead, a half level lead over to the side of Nomia, and only now the members of Morton's list are starting to approach the shrine, but have full vision of where they're coming in from. They're very ready, and they're just going to back away for a little bit. They don't want to go in down a man, but as Robodoba does turn up, they are going to start getting a little bit aggressive. They're putting a lot of damage down onto a Nigon, who is taken very low, but there's nice damage to lock down quite a few members. Arcana is up here now, as Sergeant is going to be the first one to fall down, going a little bit too far forward, gets it deleted right at the start, as Eternity is going to be the next target, but he is able to dimensional shift himself away, but a Nigon doesn't have that ability and will fall, and that's going to be a nice 2 kills picked up for Nomia, and this should most definitely secure this first Punisher over to the side of Nomia. We still have the combination of the Tassadar and the Valor here to try and defend, but without much in the way of wave clear, or at least sustainable wave clear, they're just going to be backing away, trying to get some advantages around the map, as Robodoba is just going to be clearing out this middle wave, as looks like he's going to be going a little bit too far forward, as the stun doesn't land from the Tyrande. We'll be able to back himself away with the Dwarf Toss. Now it's just going to be a bit of a nothing, as we do have the Punisher coming in on the top side. Nice drag away from the Johanna, managing to isolate the Punisher, but this is just going to allow the rest of Nomia to keep on applying pressure onto the buildings. And now Fat 94 has called out Hacky, but he does manage to bolt out of the way of this snare. But still a decent amount of damage coming out from the office. They do a decent amount of damage onto this fort as well. Takes it down to about half, but still a nice amount of damage done. Now Nomia is just going to keep on applying pressure. They have a talent advantage right now. It looks like they're trying to get a play on the bottom side of the map. Trying to take down the Sarshan on this Zeratul, trying to get a little bit aggressive. Now Rapidover is playing positioning quite aggressively, see if he can catch someone out in rotation, as the rest of the team are just going to be picking up some mercenary camps. And we see, actually we do have the Oracle come out to reveal Rapidover, so he's not going to be able to get any pick from that, but this is just allowing Nomia to just safely take all of these camps on the bottom side of the map. It's the rest of Morton's list are just not in position to try and punish any of the players coming out of Nomia. We do have Arcana moving up to the top of the map to repel the push that the Valor was doing, but as the Valor was on the top side of the map, it just meant that Nomia were very confident in the fact that they didn't have their sustained damage with them, so they're very free to go aggressive all around the map. They do end up getting the mercenary camp on Morton's list side of the map, and they're doing a lot of damage onto Hanky. He manages to bolt away again from the snare, but still, the damage has been done. Doesn't have his healing with him, and this is just going to allow Nomia to keep on pushing. And with his minion camp, with his mercenary camp pushing in as well, it's going to be very hard for them to actually deal with this. Hanky takes a lot of damage from John. It looks like they're trying to get aggressive onto Vanilla now, who's taking quite low, but he's able to get himself away. The lockdown and just the control coming out of Fat 94 is too much for them to deal with. The snare does land onto the Arthas, but they're going to keep on applying pressure. They take down the Tyrande again, and the rest of the members are very low. The snare does land onto Hanky, who takes a bit of poison again from John, but this is just going to be this bottom 4 being removed on the side of Morton's list, and still a lot of pressure being applied on the top side of the map from this far side. Almost taking down this top one, and they already have a rather significant experience lead. They are already at level 10, while the other team is not even close to level 9. This should allow Nomia to safely secure this next Punisher. It is going to be an not Infernal, an Arcane Punisher, which will be very obnoxious for Morton's list to actually deal with. We're just going to be stuck trying to get some experience back somewhere on the map, but they're not being allowed to. They're trying to get some camps to apply some pressure elsewhere, but they're having to split up, and they're not really in position to get much done. They don't have the ability to make proactive plays. They have to be waiting for level 10, maybe start some Void Prison combinations, but as it is right now, they are having to play very cautiously. They can't afford to get caught out at this point, because it's going to be losing them even more structures. Here comes this Arcane Punisher. It's going to be very hard for Morton's list to deal with. They're not even going to be dragging it over just yet, as he's trying to do so. He does manage to drag it. It's a little bit too late, because now the outer wall is down, and it's allowing Nomia to just keep on pushing in. The Punisher is going to be wailing on the wall. There's a lot of damage put down onto moves again, and he just does not have the healing to keep himself sustained. This outer fort is going to go down, and so all of the outer structures have been taken down by Nomia, and they're just going to keep on pushing with this Punisher. It's going to do a fair bit of work. They might be able to take some of these towers as well, as the Johanna does draw it back in onto the keep, so they should be able to take that out quite soon, but there's still more advantages going over to Nomia. There's a nice stun landing onto 3. The rain of vengeance does come through, but doesn't actually have the follow-up. They're trying to get some kind of pick now that they are level 10. Here comes Sashin from the top. Maybe we'll see a Void Prism. And Fat 94 is at the front, and he is amongst it. Think of it, as everything gets popped, as the Starfall is going to be used, but they're not actually able to take anyone low just yet. Arcana is going to go onto the bottom side, almost taking out the Zeratul, but that doesn't even matter, as both supports are taken down. The fight is still just going so very well for Nomia, and it looked like that was the fight that Morton's list were wanting to take, but in the end, it's just going to be Nomia taking it again. They're just a little bit too far ahead, and they just played it so well. It's very hard for this composition of Morton's list to actually get in onto those fights. And if they do, they're going to be walking straight into an Arthas who pretty much... Well, that's pretty much what an Arthas wants you to do. As Arcana is going to get taken very low by Sashin on the Zeratul, but with this auto attack build coming out from the far side, he is going to be taken down. The Gus a little bit too late. They do manage to take him down, but it looks like it's just going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of Nomia. They take down the 2 damage dealers on the side of Morton's list, and it's going to be a nice trade, even though you're not necessarily wanting to go down. Still a nice trade on the side of Nomia, and they're going to be able to keep on applying a pressure to Morton's list, and it's really hard for them to get back in. As I was saying, it's hard for them to actually get these fights started the way they want them to, because if they're going to just walk in to the members of Nomia. They're going to be running face first into an Arthas. He has his frozen domain. It's going to be very hard for them to deal with. And if they're relying on these Void Prison initiations, Nomia are very aware of where Sachin is on this Zeratul. They're not allowing him to get any value out of this Zeratul. And they've played Zeratul a fair bit. Bat94 has had a lot of success on the Zeratul in the past, so I'm pretty sure they're quite aware of what he can do and know just what to do to try and mitigate the amount of pressure that he can apply. As they're trying to get in onto a turning, the Dimensional Shift has been used, and that's a lot of damage coming out of the they are going to go very aggressive onto Arcana, who drops very low. The Void Prison does get dropped. It's getting mitigated. It's just going to ignore a lot of the damage from the Starfall. They are going to just take 2 kills. It looks like they're trying to take down the Johanna as well, whereas on the bottom side now, Haki is going to get caught out of position. He doesn't have enough to take down the 2 damage dealers of Nomia. They are going to take down the Johanna as well, so it's going to be a 4-0 again in favor of Nomia, and they're just going from strength to strength in this game. It's very hard for monsters to actually get in. Sasha's trying to get in onto John, doesn't have the healing with him immediately, does get taken down, but they will trade the kill back immediately. Still a nice pick up there for Morton's list, but it's not going to be enough to really mitigate a lot of this pressure coming in from Nomia. They do pick up the Punisher. It's going to be a frozen one, and Fat94 is already in position to keep on pushing. They are going to be, Morton's list going to be a little bit slow to get in for the defense. They are going to be here in time, actually. It's very hard for them to actually repel Nomia right now. They're taking down the walls already. They'll start pushing in very aggressively. As this punch is actually going to get taken down very low before Nomia are able to support it. So they are just going to back away, not wanting to try and commit onto a play, especially when they don't have all their members with them. So just taking down those outer turrets, just get a bit more of an advantage when it comes to experience. They are level 16 compared to just the 13 on the side of Morton's list. Very, very strong position they're in right now. And they can pretty much play the map however they want. They can try and use them, make the most of this global pressure with the file set. Well, they're just going to allow Bat94 to apply pressure on the top side of the map. The rest of them are going to be coming in as they are going to lock down the Johanna. The Unstoppable comes out to get him out of the lockdown from the Arthas, but still more pressure coming in from Nomia. This mercenary camp is going to be doing a lot of work. It's going to be very awkward for them to deal with. Fort is dropped very low. They're going to just all in onto it just to finish it off. Once Lisa is not in position to try and repel them, which they do lose that structure, it's going to be a real stuff for them to actually get back into this. Fat94 taking a bit of damage from Haki, but it's just not enough to burst through all this durability from the Arthas and all the healing coming out of the Rhaegar. Ragadova is going to be the next target. Again, not really taking all that much, but taking a lot of the damage. And even John takes a little bit of damage from the multi-shot, but he's not going to be too bothered by it. Now, I'm just going to be backing away. They've got their advantage, and now it's time for them to back away. Just play the rest of the map. They have all the space in the world to take the rest of all the camps on the map. And then from there, I'm going to assume that the Shrine will be coming up around that time, so they can play around that. We have Morton's list trying to group up, and they need to find some way back into this game, but it's going to be very hard with how safe that Nomia are playing this. They're not playing over aggressive with their positioning. They're playing very safe, just taking what they know that they can most assuredly get as such, and trying to get forward and get a little bit of vision or experience. Gets locked down, but will manage to blink himself away. As mentioned, those camps are going to go down all in favor of Nomia, and just as they take them, the Shrine is going to be activating as Arcane is going to be pushing onto the top side of the map, as Moves is going to get caught out of position a little bit too far forward, and it doesn't have the rest of the team to help out. And that's just going to be a clean kill going over to Arcana. That's going to be one member on the side of Morton's list that they are not going to be having for this contestation. And it doesn't look like they're even going to be able to contest. They're just going to, more than likely, just give up this Shrine as Rabbitover is trying to take down Haki. The other support is there to help him out. It looks like they're just switching priority as Arcana is going in onto Johanna, and they're able to take him very low as the Valor does fall. Does drop Rain of Vengeance, but it's not going to be enough. They do stun down Eternix. He does have the Dimensional Shift to get him away, but still the damage has been done, and throughout all of this, Fat has been taking down all of the Guardians on the Shrine to bring in the next Punisher. It's going to be another Arcane Punisher. it's going to be very hard for Morton's list to actually deal with, especially when Nomia are playing so aggressive. Arcana is going to get taken very low by the Zeratul. The Void Prison does come out, but this is just allowing... Oh, it's actually going to take down the Falstad, but Sashin is going to be in a bit of an awkward position. Does manage to blink himself away. He's going to start moving in, but he's in a very awkward position. But this is just allowing the rest of his team time to deal with this Punisher. Sashin is going to be blinking into the base, but he is going to go down eventually, or maybe it doesn't even matter if he goes down or not. He has delayed enough for Morton's list to try and pose some kind of defense, but Nomia just going to be keeping on pushing in. They have the damage coming out from the Arthas and the Morton. They are going to go down onto the Tyrande, who, again, a little bit too far forward with their positioning, gets locked down by the Punisher, and they are going to follow up on that and take down the Tyrande. They're just going to keep on pushing forward. Sashin is in the thick of it, but he having to be very careful with that Punisher still wailing away at people. It's only the 4 members here on the side of Nomia, but with the Punisher still wailing away, and the Tyrande is down on the side of Morton's list. They're going to keep on pushing forward. The Valor falls, and that's a lot of their damage down, and with Sashin having to play very safe, he's actually going to get taken down, so that's all of the damage down on the side of Morton's list, and that is going to be game going over to Nomia. Very highly doubt that they'll be able to defend this. Arcana does come in at the end, but it is going to be GG, game 1 going over to Nomia.